In Brene Brown's book titled Daring Greatly, she states, "Our willingness to own and engage with our vulnerability determines the depth of our courage and the clarity of our purpose." Brene's words are the center of my philosophy of educational leadership. I'm Abby Osborne, and I'm a high school English teacher that strives to take risks in my work daily. As a future school leader, it is my goal to ensure that all of my students and staff feel safe in their learning environment, because otherwise, innovation and creativity are lost. In order to develop this environment of risk taking, I believe schools must be willing to have fierce conversations in an atmosphere of unconditional support. Today, I will talk about ways in which I plan to build a culture of risk taking through authenticity, support, and clarity. I believe that one of the first steps in developing a culture of risk taking involves authenticity in relationships and purpose. First, leaders should strive to build real, personal relationships with staff and students. To do this, we must intentionally create opportunities to recognize one another and have critical, real conversations. Susan Scott's Fierce Conversations book suggests that successful relationships require that all parties view getting their core needs met as being legitimate. As leaders, we must take time to learn those core needs and develop a shared vision to guide our growth. It is critical to involve multiple stakeholders in the creation of this vision, as it will center around student learning, our number one priority. As a member of my school's building leadership team, I have seen the firsthand challenges in developing buy-in due to staff disengagement or a feeling of exclusion, and I believe an emphasis on authentic relationships and conversations could have great impact on student learning. In a culture of risk-taking, effective leaders support those around them. Jimmy Casas suggests that we must be champions for kids. In Culturize, he states, "By consistently interacting in a purposeful manner with those around you, you can instill a sense of belonging and a belief that they have something positive to contribute." I will be considerate about the language I use with students and staff, creating more purposeful, gratitude-driven conversations. When students and staff experience failure along the learning journey, I intend to provide positive reinforcement because I believe that viewing failure in a negative light can stifle innovation in teaching and learning. Staff must have time to share these failures and collaborate with one another. We are much stronger when we work as a team and all voices are heard. As a young teacher, my principal provided me with many opportunities to gain professional learning and share my ideas, which helped me to feel more confident in my abilities and therefore take more risks. I plan to pay it forward by investing in all of my teachers through constant encouragement and support, because I know the long-term benefit on student learning will be great. To foster risk-taking in schools, leaders have a responsibility to be clear about expectations and to develop open lines of communication with staff. Joe Gentry does this regularly during his first year as a principal, especially when he takes the time to interview his staff at the beginning of the year, or when he shares his expectations at the first meeting. In practice, I intend to send weekly communication about upcoming events and celebrations in my school. Much like Joe, I also plan to be in classrooms regularly to interact with students and staff and to demonstrate my visibility in the school. These actions communicate that I am organized and proactive and therefore able to support their needs in a reliable way. When staff understands the expectations and structure, they are more willing to take risks and fall forward. Clarity in our messaging and consistency in delivering this message will create an environment where staff can be creative and vulnerable, which is critical for meeting the needs of our students. Effective educators fail many times. Michael Jordan famously stated, 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. And while education is a bit different than professional basketball, I would argue that the stakes are just as high. How we react to failure in the school system can either be daunting or gratifying, depending on the system in which we work. As a future school leader, I am hoping to make the experience of failing a positive one. To do so, I will create a culture built on authenticity, encouragement, and clarity. With each of these features in place, our students, our number one priority, will be successful. Thank you.